Month in Wisconsin, a month to celebrate an industry that is a year-round economic driver in the state of Wisconsin. Several Breakfast on the Farm events will be held on Saturday as part of this celebration. But this year, there have been concerns the celebration would be subdued as questions continue to swirl around issues central to the industry, immigration and tariffs. And we welcome in Jeff Bettley of Bettley Farms out in Shawano County. He's also the District 9 board member for Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin. So Jeff, all the things that were leading into this year, there was a lot of challenging possibilities concerning tariffs, immigration, all the things that we've talked about. Has it been challenging for you as a dairy farmer?
Probably not as much challenging yet as maybe worrisome. A lot of things are changing. Change is always happening, but there was some big picture stuff for our industry that have come about with the new election. So there's good and bad with all those events. So there's been a bit of worry about some of the things that were talked about on a national level, but so far things have been, pretty business as usual, if you will.
All right, so you're a farm of about 3,000 cows. How do those worries specifically translate to a farm your size?
First thing is absolutely the tariffs. We're a business, the dairy business. I don't know the exact number right now. I will say in the 20% range of our product, so one of every 5 truckloads that leaves here of milk has to go offshore. It goes offshore. And more people are wanting our product all over the world, which is awesome. But we start talking about tariffs and all that represents, that's pretty scary. I guess the one good thing, our biggest partner in the dairy products right now is Mexico, and with the USMCA agreement that has been in place for a number of years, seems to have kept those ties, those relationships, as they have been going. So that's been nice to see.
Jeff, it was my understanding that the price for milk that you were able to get on the market had dropped from fall to early spring, but it's since rebounded. So did you expect that to happen? And if so, why do you think this happened?
I think it was a bunch of worry, right? There's people that make milk, there's people that speculate on milk, there's people that have to sell milk to these customers. So everyone was a little skittish. For me, we do quite a bit of this anyway, but we put in floors, on our production. Milk that leaves the door, we can put in a floor price for it. We leave the top open if things go good, but we spend a little money to put a floor in to make sure we're meeting bills and we're making a little bit of money. That takes a lot of burden, a lot of worry off.
How about the folks that you deal with in your role as the board member from District 9 for Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin? Obviously, you talk to them a lot. You're in Menominee County, Shawano County, and Waupaca County is your district. What do you hear from those folks?
Well, 2 levels of this. Obviously, I think the worries are the same all around, but the thing that I wish we had more, maybe this is a good place to bring it up, is I wish more people would contact myself. I'll speak for myself, but as a board, I think all the members think, how do we get the word out, or how do we get the concerns from our constituents back to the board level? The communication is always, everybody's busy, especially this time of year, but how do we communicate more and get the worries of the countryside, in our industry, to somebody that maybe can make a difference? That's always a challenge.
Jeff, I'm wondering if that speaks to, it's kind of interesting to me, we're talking about uncertainties in the marketplace, but no one seems in their profession to deal with more uncertainty than farmers. So because you deal with uncertainty about weather, you deal with uncertainty about crop yield, you deal with uncertainty about the health of your cows, right? So maybe you guys are more equipped to deal with uncertainty than anybody else. Is it a hardy bunch and a bunch that kind of keeps to themselves when this kind of stuff happens?
Yeah, I don't know. Everyone just keeps busy, and I guess you don't realize the stress because it's always been there, right? I don't know if it's good or bad, or if people just worry about other things. But the cool thing about having cows is they don't lie, so you just take care of them, do the right thing. There's no second agenda. So it's a great relationship with the cows. So that's why we love them. So.
Well, I don't mean to put more pressure on you, but obviously June Dairy Month is to celebrate this industry in the state of Wisconsin that tunes out an economic impact of just about $53 billion. That is a big chunk of an economic driver here in the state of Wisconsin. We could even narrow it down further. Outagamie County, obviously in our area, is just under $4 billion. Shawano County, where you are, just a little under $1 billion. So as this is such an important driver in the state of Wisconsin, how do you look at your little part? How do you view your role in the state of Wisconsin's economy?
That's funny, right? Because we try to, you try to keep everything local, but everything's changing. You don't have you can't go to you can hardly go to a pharmacy in your little town anymore. Everything's changing. So, like our industry is changing too. So you do what you can locally, but then you support churches and schools that you care about, and you just keep carrying on, right? The changes is really, I think it's getting faster. Maybe I'm just getting older, but it is, I don't know, fun to watch, and you just got to make sure you stay relevant in the business, in the community, and we're trying.
Jeff, thanks so much for the time. Enjoy June Dairy Month, and good luck the rest of the, well, I was going to say season, but your season's pretty much year-round with your cows.
Thanks for the time.